sat. But sowing discord, telling lies about it, producing problems between people. This applies particularly to those in God's church, who, as I said a moment ago, somehow believe that they have to be the first. I want to look when you read the Ten Commandments, the things that God has commanded here. And remember again, Deuteronomy 6, 4, 5, and 6, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, with all thy strength. The second commandment, like unto that, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Jesus quoted that and it's written in Matthew chapter 22, verse 35 to 40. And again in Mark 12, 29 to 31. And that's stressed repeatedly in God's Word. Now when we look at the specifics of the Ten Commandments for our relationship with each other, thou shalt honor your father and mother, that your days may be long upon this earth. If we go to Mark 7 chapter, 13 verses, we find there that Jesus is accusing the Pharisees of hypocrisy, that they have taken this commandment and flipped it around and said if they make a contribution to the church, that's Corban, therefore they have no more obligation than their parents. That takes God's law and it's a 7-stage process and ends up by replacing God's law with man's law. And that is unfortunately the process that a lot of people claim to be Christians and use. They have destroyed what God said was important enough to put as the first of the Ten Commandments in establishing and maintaining a right relationship with my fellow human beings. Now, what is the extent of that command? Paul covers this in Romans 12, verse 18. As much as lies within you, the peace will be with all men. Now, all will not live peaceably with you. Some will insist on doing what they want, no matter what. But if they want to consider me their enemy, that has to be a decision entirely theirs. I am not allowed by God to look upon any human being, any other one made in His image, and consider this person to be my enemy. God does not allow me that right. Because I have no foreseeable capability. I can't look ahead and see what that person might end up by being. God knows. He's also said in 2 Peter 3, verse 9, that He's not willing that any should perish, but all should come to repentance. That's actually my attitude, my disposition in whatever relationship I have. And if another human being rejects that, I cannot let that be my fault. It's hard to maintain that kind of an attitude. I know personally how difficult it is. It's so easy to end up by hating somebody who's done something bad and wanting revenge, forgetting the fact that God said repeatedly, vengeance is mine, I will repay, said before. Revenge belongs alone unto God, not to man. We are all fallible human beings. We're all capable of making mistakes. We're all do make mistakes. God's a loving, forgiving God, and if I expect God to forgive me, I've got to be more able to be willing to forgive those who sin against me. Now, I said earlier that the commandment given in a negative sense demands a positive. Thou shalt do no murder, for example, the next thing. I must therefore do what I can to preserve life rather than to take life. And to make sure that in trying to preserve life, I don't have evil in my heart against somebody else. That's a positive of it. When it comes to some of the other requirements that God has put in, every one of these things apply to our living here Now when you read the Old Testament, you go through it again and again and again and again, and you see that the emphasis on God's teaching is for people to get along with each other, either as nations or as individuals. God does not want